Mate, let's be honest with each other. How much of your life have you spent trying to heal? I mean, really? How many hours have you clocked sitting there replaying the old tapes? You go over the past mistakes. That thing you said at that party 10 years ago, the opportunities you missed, the people you hurt, or the people who hurt you. There's this nagging, persistent feeling, like a hairline crack deep in your soul, that there is just something fundamentally wrong with you. You feel broken, flawed, damaged goods. And you've bought into this idea we all have that you are a project that needs finishing. That if you just try hard enough, if you analyze enough, meditate enough, journal enough, you can finally fix that broken part. You can glue the pieces back together and finally become whole. But this burden of the past, it's heavy, isn't it? It's not just a memory. For most of us, it's a room we live in. You wake up and you walk right back into that prison cell of guilt, lock the door behind you, and spend the day examining the same four walls. And the sheer fatigue of self-improvement, it's exhausting. It's a full-time job, isn't it, trying to become a better version of yourself. You read all the books, you listen to all the gurus, you follow all the advice. You get a little temporary relief maybe, a good week. But then, in the quiet of 3 a.m., that same old feeling of guilt, that same old inadequacy just creeps right back in. And you think, it must be me. I'm not even good at healing right. Look, I need you to hear this first. That feeling is real. That pain is absolutely valid. And you are not alone in feeling this way. In fact, most of us are carrying this exact same weight. We're all walking around pretending we're fine, while secretly feeling like we're the only broken one in the room. But what if the entire idea of fixing yourself is the trap? What if all that effort isn't the solution, but is actually the problem? What if that broken self you're trying so desperately to repair doesn't even exist? That's the real question, isn't it? But we're not allowed to ask it, because we have been programmed, literally hardwired from birth, to believe in our brokenness. Look, the entire multi-billion-dollar self-help industry, and I've read my fair share of those books, is built on one single very profitable promise. You are broken, and we have the secret 10-step plan to fix you. It's a fantastic business model, really. It creates a lifelong patient. It diagnoses you with a flaw and then sells you the cure over and over again. It thrives on the idea that you are a problem to be solved. And society reinforces this lie every single day. It loves labels. It tells you that you are the sum total of your past. You are your failures. You are your trauma. You are your worst decisions. It takes these fleeting, fluid experiences and tries to weld them into a solid, permanent identity, a brand, a rap sheet. This is the core of the illusion, what we can call the illusion of the static I. We're taught to think of ourselves as a thing, like a fixed, solid object, a ceramic vase. If you drop the vase, it shatters. It's broken. And now you must spend the rest of your life painstakingly trying to glue the pieces back together, always ashamed of the cracks. If the vase gets a stain on it, that's your guilt. You must scrub it, bleach it, try to get it clean again. We treat ourselves like an object that can be permanently damaged. We treat our memories as if they are solid bricks we have to carry in a backpack forever. And what happens when you believe you're a broken thing? You declare war. It's that simple. You start this exhausting, impossible, internal battle. It's you versus your past. It's you versus your anxiety. It's you versus your guilt. You try to conquer your own feelings, delete your bad memories, erase your shame. You split yourself in two, the good you, the controller, the fixer, and the bad you, the broken mess. It's a brutal civil war, mate. And it's a war you can never, ever win, because the enemy isn't real. This is the exact moment Alan Watts steps in, looks at this whole bloody mess, and calmly says, rubbish. He looks at this epic war you're waging, and points out that you're fighting a ghost. You're trying to scrub a stain off a vase that's made of smoke. So, what is this liberating truth he offers? What is the real alternative to this endless, exhausting war? It's the ultimate aha moment. And this isn't just nice, fluffy poetry, mate. This is the core logical takedown. To be fully transparent, which we believe in here, this is the kind of sharp analysis Watts dives into in his works, especially in The Wisdom of Insecurity. This isn't just inspiration, it's a structural argument. Here's the pin that bursts the whole bubble. The I that is trying to do the fixing is the exact same I that feels broken in the first place. Read that again. The fixer is the flaw. Just stop and really think about that. When you say to yourself, I must control my anger, who is who? Are there two of you in there? Is there a you, the calm, rational little boss sitting at a control panel, and then this separate wild anger that you need to wrestle to the ground? No, of course not. When you are angry, you are the anger. The feeling is you in that moment. When you feel guilt, you are the guilt. We've just been tricked by our own language. We've bought into the biggest illusion the ego ever spun. This idea that there is a thinker who is separate from the thoughts, that there's a feeler separate from the feelings, an experiencer separate from the experience. Watts just points out the obvious. No, you aren't a thinker. You are the thinking. You aren't a feeler. You are the feeling. You are not a static noun. You are a dynamic verb. The entire thing is you. So, here is the liberating punchline. Are you ready for it? You cannot fix yourself. It's logically impossible. Why? Because the very act of trying to fix is the ego, the I creating the division in the first place. It's the I pretending to be separate from the brokenness, so it can feel like it's in control. The fixer creates the broken. They are two ends of the same stick. You can't have one without the other. The moment you say, I must get rid of my guilt, you have just reinforced the idea that there's a you who shouldn't have guilt. You've just confirmed your own brokenness and started the civil war all over again. This is the end of that war. You don't win the war by finally defeating your guilt. You win the war by seeing that the enemy you've been fighting is just your own shadow. You were never broken like a vase. You can't be. A process can't be broken, it can only be. You are not flawed. You are simply happening. You are unfolding. Trying to fix your past is just as absurd, just as fundamentally impossible as the captain of a ship trying to steer the boat by grabbing hold of the wake it left behind. It's gone. It's just a pattern. It isn't real. Now, when you hear this idea that the I who is trying to fix is the illusion itself, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it a feeling of aha? Or is it more of a what the hell do I do now? Be honest. Drop that feeling in the comments below. It's a massive idea to wrap your head around. And that's the thing, this logic. It's solid, but it's also a bit heavy. It's very head, isn't it? So how do we feel this truth in our daily life? How do we make this logic a part of our bone? Luckily, this is where Watts was a true master. He gave us some absolutely beautiful images to help us grasp it. And this is where the poetry comes in, but it's poetry with a purpose. It's designed to bypass that critical, analytical brain, the fixer we just talked about, and speak directly to the rest of you. First, think about a river. Most of us think we're a rock sitting in the middle of the river of life. We think life is this thing that happens to us. We're this solid, separate object, and the water life, events, trauma, just smashes against us, eroding us, wearing us down. Watts says, no, you've got it backwards. You're not the rock, you are the river. You are the entire flowing, unstoppable process. Now, ask yourself this. Can a river make a mistake? Can the water have guilt about turning left instead of right? Can it be ashamed of the mud it carries? No. It's absurd. It just flows. It simply is. It follows the path of least resistance. Your past, that decision you regret, that failure, it wasn't a mistake in the grand sense. It was just the river flowing. It was the only way the water could have flowed in that moment. Given the shape of the riverbed, the gravity, the rainfall, your past isn't a stain on you. It's just a part of the path the river is. It's the very current that brought you here, to this exact point. Or, here's my favorite one, the one I mentioned earlier, the ship and its wake. The wake is that V-shaped pattern of waves left behind a moving boat. Now, your past, your entire history, every memory, every regret, every single moment, that is the wake. And what do? We spend our entire lives staring backwards at the wake. We analyze it. Oh, that wave is too big. That part's messy. I wish I hadn't made that turn back there. We feel guilty about the shape of our wake. Worse, we try to steer the boat by grabbing the wake. Think how insane that is. You're at the back of the boat, trying to grab handfuls of churning water, trying to push it into a different shape, somehow believing that if you fix the pattern behind you, it will change the direction the boat is currently going. Watts points out that the wake doesn't power the boat. It's just the result of the boat's movement. It's a ghost. It tells you where you've been, but it has zero power over where you are. The engine, mate, the power. It's all right here, right now, in the present. You can't steer the past. You can only steer the boat. And finally, if you're feeling overwhelmed by all this guilt and trauma, picture this. Those feelings, the heavy guilt, the sharp sting of a bad memory, the anxiety, they are like clouds. Dark, heavy, stormy clouds. And you think you are the cloud. You get lost in it. You become the storm. You identify with the darkness and the rain. But you are not the cloud. You are not the storm. You are the sky. You are the vast, open, limitless blue expanse behind all of it. The sky doesn't fight the clouds. It doesn't try to fix the storm or get rid of the rain. It doesn't get broken by a bolt of lightning or stained by a dark cloud. It just allows. It allows the clouds to be clouds. It gives them the space to drift in, be stormy, and drift out again, all while remaining perfectly, immutably, and peacefully itself. The sky is never damaged. So, if we are the river, if we are the sky, if there is nothing to fix, then what are we supposed to do with all this pain? What do we do tomorrow morning when that guilt comes knocking again? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The practical one. What do we do? And the answer is the most liberating and maybe the most frustrating answer you'll ever hear. You do nothing. Now, hang on. Before you click off thinking this is just some lazy, passive rubbish. That is not what this means. This isn't about apathy. This is about finally, blessedly, stopping the effort. It is the ultimate de-escalation. Stop trying. Stop trying to fix a ghost. Stop trying to scrub a stain that isn't there. Stop trying to steer the boat by fighting the wake. So, here is the practice. This is our Alan Watts applied. Tomorrow morning, when that old familiar cloud of guilt or shame rolls in, because it will, this doesn't magically stop the weather, but instead of doing what you've always done, which is either A, immediately resist it, fight it, and try to fix it, the civil war, or B, completely identify with it and let it ruin your day, the prison cell. You try a third way. You just observe it. You, the sky, just watch the cloud. You feel it. You don't try to push it away. You don't try to analyze it. You don't judge yourself for having it. You just breathe and you let it be. In that moment, you just say, "Ah, there you are again, old friend. Guilt. I see you. I feel you." You just sit with it as the sky sits with the storm. You notice it, and in that simple, non-judgmental noticing, a tiny bit of space is created. In that space, you realize, I am not the guilt. I am the awareness of the guilt. And that space, mate, that is freedom. That's the whole game. You're no longer it. You're the witness of it. This is the great absolution. This is the permission you've been searching for your entire life. The permission you thought you had to earn by fixing yourself. You were never broken. You were just human. That past that haunts you. It's not a prison sentence. It's not an identity. It's just the foundation. It's the messy, complicated, sometimes tragic soil that was absolutely necessary to grow the person who is sitting here right now, aware enough to even listen to this. The riverbed was essential to shape the river. There is nothing to forgive. Think about that. There is nothing to forgive because there was no separate you who messed up against some perfect plan. There was just the river, flowing in the only way it knew how. There was just life happening. The guilt was just the ego's story about what happened. You are enough right now, this second, with all your flaws, all your scars, all your mistakes. They're not flaws. You are not a broken vase that needs to be glued back together. You're a mosaic, a complex, intricate, and totally complete picture. And all those dark, broken pieces, they're not mistakes. They're essential. They're what gives the masterpiece its depth. If this video, this one idea, helped you set down even a small part of that heavy load you've been carrying, do me a favor and hit that like button. It's just a good way of letting me know that this message actually landed. And look, you probably know someone. We all do. Someone who is just way too hard on themselves. Someone still locked in that prison cell fighting their past. If you do, maybe share this video with them. It might just be the permission they needed to hear today. Thanks for sitting with me, mate.